Everybody buckle in. We're in for a ride. Okay, so this is today's section. We're gonna cover advanced attribution foundation, a primer on all the advanced attribution techniques, and we'll go into the invited speaker section. What I've realized is that there is no one size fits all for attribution. There is some good principles and frameworks that as what we're going to cover in class, but the actual solution that brands end up with typically tend to be something that is custom fitted for their specific use case. Okay, so what I've done is I've collected the industry's best experts in attribution, real world expertise with marketers, data scientists, and assembled them into a community, and we are putting together best practices and writing standards. This is the advanced attribution primer. Okay, so we did foundations. What is the purpose of the foundations section is to set the context for advanced attribution. What is the problem statement? How to think about the problem statement, how do you apply these techniques in a way to solve the problem, broad thesis for it, triangulation, all the big concepts. Okay, now let's jump into the specific techniques, incrementality testing, marketing mix modeling with a little bit more depth.
Yeah, I think my main anecdote or story is pushing yourself to avoid falling to the trap of false precision. At Instacart, we were evaluating investment decisions across multiple channels, paid marketing, incentives, CRM. We're looking at internal and external variables, seasonal variables, even marketplace variables, because it is a marketplace business. And it's very easily to fall in the trap of false precision. And in many cases, there's an expectation that marketing measurement will just deliver the absolute truth, and that tells you the decision you should make. And as Madan mentioned earlier, marketing measurement is an input to decision making versus designed to make that decision. So even as something as trusted as incrementality tests are still in the moment measurement, they're not persistently accurate, and you should utilize it, but don't trust it in perpetuity. And my feeling, which we'll get into a little bit later, is you need to combine intuition with the data and think really critically about what the story the data is telling you, and have a degree of skepticism. There's a great Jeff Bezos quote talking about customers, and when the anecdotes and the data disagree, the anecdotes are usually right.
Is the compartmentalizing of the data or I'm going to just say the metric, because there's a lot of exec level folks are going to focus on the business objective, so revenue or brand or things like that. But when you get into the weeds of those things, then you can either look at them as a tactical metric or an operational metric. And then what metrics then get elevated to the key performance indicator. In getting everybody aligned around that, I've actually taught classes where I go into clients and say, all right, let's start by writing a goal. What do you want to do?
Open the floor for questions. Anything anybody wants to quiz.
How long are these multipliers valid for? Or, is it just sort of an ongoing update that you have to maintain?
Help me understand how the outcome of that match market test and the initial multiplier that we had, how that changes moving forward.
Once a year, you might do a geo-match market test, especially if you're concerned about one of the cohorts, let's say your prospecting group, and you want to make sure it's a way to look at Facebook's platform test and hold them accountable as well. So.
You run the risk of there being a bias in the model reads. If you look at it, say, this doesn't make sense to me, let's do something different. You could end up where figures lie and liars figure. You keep going till you get the answer that the CMO wants to get.
Going once, going twice. All right, I'll let you guys jump. I'll see you guys back Wednesday morning. Thank you so much for all the engagement.